All right, y'all. It's time for the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6 Reunion Part 3 review. It's your girl, Keisha. And let's get into this all tea, all shade video. So we pick up where we left off last week with Mel and Miss Betty going at it. And Mel was like, repeat it. And Miss Betty was like, I don't have to. You're not my daughter. And Mel was like, you call your daughter bees and all of that. Why would I want to be your daughter? At this point, Stormy is trying to interject and get them both to stop. She like, Mel, mama, Betty. The fact, well, I thought that Stormy and her mother's relationship was inappropriate. I'll never forget, it was the day of the brawl that happened in front of Madani Beauty Supply. And when they were in her G-Wagon and she was on Instagram Live retelling what happened, her mama was sitting in the back seat. And she was just cussing in front of her mama and cussing with her mama. And I was like, what kind of relationship is this? I know you grown, but okay. So I 1000% believe Mel when she says that she calls Stormy out of her name, because that looks like the type of relationship that they have. And that's so gross. So Stormy finally is able to speak, and she was like, I like you, Mel. I always have. I do feel like the tweet situation got out of hand. You know how it is to start a business and have your name be tarnished. And I agree with her on that. You know, Mel didn't say anything from what we saw, but I do wish that she would have jumped in and told them people to leave that girl alone, that it didn't have anything to do with her. I understand, you know, she doesn't care for her anymore. They're not friends anymore, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And she could have at least stepped in and did that, and not have waited until Miss Betty went off on social media. So Stormy begins to cry because her cousin doesn't work for her any longer again. He's working now at, I guess, a family restaurant as a manager, and she wishes that he would come back and be the manager at Canvas. But like Carlos said, if it's going to save y'all relationship, then maybe it is best that he not work there. So then it's the Fletcher's segment, and Nell says that she's talking to her son, little Chris, more. He just doesn't like to be called out when he's wrong. And, you know, she realized that they were fighting over money, and the kids always look at it like, y'all got it. Y'all ain't in no rush to get it back. But it's about principle. It's about holding yourself to your word. And it's about handling your business, because if it was somebody else, you would have to pay it back. So I get where Nell is coming from. So she was like, you know, if it's going to affect my family to this point, then she just told, you know, him, give it back to me when you can, you know. But I would just feel like moving forward, I'm not letting you borrow nothing. Period. Go get you a loan, because you're going to have to realize how life works. So I just wouldn't loan them kids no more money. Period. She also says Nell was upset that Tisha said that she was going to include them in the expo and didn't. And Tisha says that she was focused on the core 6. And then she makes up the excuse when they bring up, well, how did Stormy get involved? She was like, because at the time me and Stormy talked all day, every day. And then she says that she didn't talk to the Fletchers like that. Girl, just made every excuse in the book, girl. Just admit it. You played them. You played them. And it's okay to say, I was wrong. I didn't handle the situation correctly. I gave my word and I didn't live up to it. And I'm sorry. Like, how hard is that? Like, ain't nobody got time for you to be running all around the mulberry bush. You was wrong, girl. Like, oh my God. So the conversation of Chris cheating on Nell comes up, and she says that she found out he was cheating from somebody. And he says that he only cheated with one woman, and they were separated for 18 months. And the reason why she took him back is because she loved him. She loved him, and that's why they're back together. And you could tell she was really uncomfortable talking about that. So uncomfortable. And we also found out that she didn't even want to be on the show like that, to that extent where they're showing their own family lives, because of what they're going through now. And I 1000% get it. That's why I don't know if I can necessarily do reality TV. You got everybody in the world scrutinizing your life, your personality, your family, your relationships, your friendships, all based on a 45-minute reality show that has been heavily edited every week. Like, that's a lot to deal with. Carlos then asks, was that the reason why you all wanted to help Mel and Martel? Because y'all had gone through the same thing. And Nell was like, yeah, I knew they loved each other very much, but I also saw Fletcher in Martel. And Carlos was like, how so? And she was like, the cockiness, the clothes, and arrogance. Fletcher used to be like that as well. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I mean, you can obviously tell that he cares about how he looks and all of that type of stuff, and that he's a handsome guy, but he's so quiet and mild-mannered that you would never even think that he would be like that. But that goes to show you never know about a person. And as always, Martel just sitting there looking stupid with that stupid look on his face. So Carlos says, the viewers feel like you let Martel speak to Nell disrespectfully. And Chris was like, I look at it like it's a brother-sister type situation. And Mel says that she's told Chris herself, she's talked to him a couple of times about how she don't like the way Martel speaks to Nell, and that it is disrespectful because not only is she a woman, but she's our elder. You know, they are older than them, and there does need to be a level of respect. And so he was like, Martel was like, you know, I do look at her like a sister or whatever. And Nell was like, but you walked up on me though. And he was like, well, I apologize, the whatever. Da, da, da. And I'm like, like, Chris, I get what you saying, but you need to still check him, period. Because it's not okay for Martel to think that he can yell and get all up in a woman's face. It's simply not okay. I don't care how old the person is. Like, you should know better. And that's why I say that he's unhinged. He really, truly is. And he don't have no respect for nobody. So Tisha says that her relationship with Kiki is dead and gone at this point. And that she keeps telling her family that she hasn't done anything to Kiki. And I'm like, how can you possibly say that you have not done anything to her? This argument, fight, beef, whatever, did not just come from one person. Y'all both, to me, are equally at fault at this point. And that's one of the main problems why they will never be able to reconcile, is because Tisha honestly feels like she has never done anything wrong to this girl. And that's absolutely malarkey, honey. Plain and simple. Carlos then asks Kiki, you know, the viewers feel you used your relationship with Tisha to cement your place on the show and that you chose the show over Tisha. Kiki responds, that is nowhere near my intentions or what I did. The plan was always for me to come on the show. Now, remember, she said that during my interview with her. If you have not watched my interview with Kiki, it's a 2-part interview, which is explosive. It did so well. You can check it out. It's under my celebrity interviews playlist. But she said the same thing in my interview, and to see her once again say it in front of Tisha and there was no rebuttal, which goes to show that that girl wasn't lying. I believe a lot of what comes out of Kiki's mouth. Do I believe everything? No. But majority of what she has said in my interview and what I've seen her say on the show always comes back as factual. So Tisha was like, I didn't want her on the show with what she was dealing with. It's stuff that hasn't even come up yet. She has a lot of issues that I feel could ruin her family. And Kiki was like, there are only 2 things in my life, me being addicted to pills and the infidelity in my marriage. We then see Martel turn to Tisha and Marcell and was like, that ain't it, is it? And Marcell was like, hell no. And Tisha gives him a face like, really? Really? You really think that? So I'm wondering, have they told Martel in the past what this thing could have been, or was he just speculating? So Martel then jumps in and says Marcell and Tisha and them said it's one more major thing. And Kiki looked at them and was like, what is it? Please say it. Please tell me what it is. So then Tisha say, I didn't say that. Martel said that. It's their story to tell, not ours. But you just sitting over there making faces and stuff. See, this is what I'm talking about. Because anything that Kiki has said, she's been able to back it up. Y'all throw out stuff and then don't want to say what it is. Why cover for her? If you don't care for her, she dead to you, y'all ain't family, you don't care about her, say it. Because she done said what she needed to say. She's no longer hiding anything for you. So go ahead and say it. That's why I feel like y'all are a bunch of liars. So Kiki was like, I have nothing to hide. So Carlos was like, would you like to reconcile your relationship with Tisha? And Kiki was like, of course I will. Why wouldn't I? And here go Tisha. No, she wants me to divorce my husband. Girl, don't nobody care about you and that fool at this point. Nobody cares about you staying with Marcell. You set that girl up. You the one went to her and asked her to find out that information and then got mad when there was information to be told. Like, she never once disputed that on that stage, that she was the one that went to Kiki and said, hey, I'm hearing these things about your hairstylist and Marcell and all of this stuff. Can you find out what's been going on? She never disputed that. So how are you mad at this woman when you asked her to go digging for information about your man? Make it make sense. And I wish that Carlos would have really delved more into that, because she never once said on that stage that she did not ask Kiki to go and get that information for her. Like, come on, bro. So, Tisha then goes on to say that, you know, that's the one thing that always gets her is the situation with their daughters, because they're best friends. And remember, Kiki said that in my interview with her, that their daughters are best friends. She then goes on to say that Kiki tried to block her daughter's number out of her daughter's phone. And Kiki was like, I've never done that. You're lying. And I believe Kiki. I 100% believe Kiki. Just the way she responded, she was looking like, we going there? Like, we going that deep with the shenanigans? Like, you can tell that really pissed her off. And I just cannot with Tisha and Marcell. I just simply cannot. Like, everything about them is just so whack. Like, ugh, boo. So after that, Tisha's whole pregnancy scare situation comes up. Carlos says to Marcell, when she told you, was there a thought in your mind that she could have stepped out on you? And Marcell was like, that was the only thought in my mind. So Tisha sitting there once again, looking like the Jolly Green Giant, looking like some split pea soup, just looking dumb. Like, this man stay embarrassing you, and then you want to let the words come out your mouth. No, she want me and my husband to get a divorce. You should want a divorce, because he never misses the opportunity to make you look like the fool you are. So Marcell was like, So Carlos says, do you think Tisha is capable of stepping out on you? And Marcell was like, yes. Does she have a vagina and a mouth? Like, how she didn't rear her hand back and slap the dog-ish out of him for saying something like that. Like, that's literally reducing her to being a whore. Like, what? What? And after she sat there for 6 seasons straight having your back every time rumors have come up about him cheating on her, and she has never once disrespected that man the way he disrespects her. And I'm just looking like, Tisha, you can't be that hooked on phonics. Like, oh my God. So Tisha was like, if you think that, then that's sad. Then what's the point of us being together? Girl, shut up, because you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't going nowhere. Be quiet. So Mel jumps in, was like, if she was pregnant, were you gonna leave her? And Marcell says yes. Tisha, girl, you have dug this grave for yourself. So then during the break, while they're getting ready for, to say goodbye, we see Marcell just staring at Kiki, literally just staring at this woman like a creep. Like, it was really creepy and disturbing and weird to me. And Kiki catches him looking at her and was like, you one line B. What's all this street walking you talking about? That ish didn't happen, and you know that BS. Marcell, you picked me up twice. And then she was like, B, don't look at me. And then Marcell talking about some, well, come get me. Like, why are you even trying to entice a woman to come put their hands on you? Like, this is why I feel like he goes way too far. And I mean, whatever her husband name is, need to come sit on him. I mean, need to come check him like he a hungry hippo for real, because Marcell need his A whooped. I'm sorry. Like, why are you trying to bait a woman into attacking you? Like, what is wrong with you? And then, like I said, him staring at her like that. After watching that, I'm looking at Kiki like, I'm looking at Tisha like, you think that's okay? You don't find that to be weird that he just staring at your cousin like that? Because that low-key make me feel like you like her. Like, what's going on with you, bruh? Like, that man is a weirdo to me. So Tisha then jump in times, I bet you won't cross this line. Cross and see. One time, B. One time. It won't happen again. Believe that. And Kiki was like, girl, whatever. You don't know me. Please. And I'm looking at Tisha like, you talking all that, but when she splashed you in your face, all you could do was gasp for breath like you was drowning. Like, girl, sit down, because nobody believes you. You didn't let Kiki punk you. You didn't let Stormy punk you. Like, so I need to see you being really about that action, because you're not fighting nobody. You too old. Both of y'all too old and rickety. Gonna be putting Bengay all over your body the next day. Please stop. So that was the end of reunion part 3. I think this was the best reunion so far in Love and Marriage Huntsville history. I think that it was full of funny moments, full of gag worthy moments. The fashion was horrible all around. But I do like the way majority of the cast was able to come together and not really take things too personally. You know, not everybody, but majority of these people. Obviously they're coming back for a season 7. I just don't want to see these people on my television screen no time soon. But we already know how this train works. We'll be seeing them on TV no later than March, child. Ugh, God. Anywho, so next week, Love and Marriage DC begins for the second half of season 2. I'm really looking forward to that, even though the content is over a year late. But whatever. I'm going to give reunion part 3. I'm going to give it A minus. Overall, I'm going to give season 6 in a whole of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm going to give it an overall, I'm going to give it an overall B minus. Yeah. I still think that there's more juice to squeeze out of this franchise, but I do think that there needs to be a cast shakeup going into season 7. We need some new blood on this show, especially now since Tiffany and hey are gone. We need a new couple in there to spice things up a bit. I do like the Fletchers being on the show. I do like Kiki being a friend of. So yeah, I think they need to add in another couple and maybe one more friend of. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about reunion part 3. What would you guys grade season 6? Let's talk about it down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.